are listening to a roll call vote, and the future for Speaker McCarthy is not good. There are already 8 Republicans who have voted to remove Kevin McCarthy from the speakership. If all of the Democrats join those 8 Republicans, McCarthy will be ousted in a historic first. This has never happened in U.S. history.
The yeas are 216. The nays are 210. The resolution is adopted. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. The office of Speaker of the House of the United States House of Representatives is hereby declared vacant.
Tonight, after an historic vote in the U.S. House, now former Speaker Kevin McCarthy returning to an office that is no longer his. Acting on a motion by Florida Republican Matt Gaetz, 8 Republicans joining with Democrats in voting to vacate the position of Speaker for the first time ever.
We reached out to both Representative Biggs and Representative Crane for interviews. They weren't made available.
And that's why I think 7 or 8 of us, voted to vacate the Speaker. And that's never happened in political history.
As a freshman congressman, you played a key role in ousting McCarthy from the seat. Can you just put our viewers in your shoes of what caused you to make that decision and what it was like being in the trenches during that crazy period when they were trying to vote for him?
Yeah, well, I swore to myself if the voters of Arizona's 2nd Congressional District sent me up here, I wasn't going to come up here to fall under a new chain of command and, do what I could to, pad my bank account.
The problem with Washington politicians is they have no skin in the game. Well, I'm not a self-serving politician. My whole life has been about service, family, and community. After 9/11, I served as a Navy SEAL in the Middle East. It's time for we, the people, to take our country back.
I was going to come up here to try and change the way this town works because it doesn't function for the American people. It's wildly out of control. It's fiscally irresponsible. There's a lot of corruption up here, and so. The only reason I would leave my wife and 2 kids to spend 3 weeks a month in Washington, D.C., a place I don't really care much for, is because I do feel that leadership is important. I feel that moral courage is lacking up here a lot. And just having people up here who will do the right thing or try to do the right thing when they might get sent home is really lacking up here. So it's one of the reasons that, I decided to run. And it's honestly one of the reasons that I was willing to jeopardize my political career right off the bat and to participate in not only the initial speaker fight that many Americans saw in January of 2 years ago. That level of a speaker fight hadn't taken place in 150 years. And ultimately it was for the betterment of the people and to try and change the way that Congress works. There were several things that we were fighting for in that battle, but one of the keys is that I was actually listening to my voters, and that's something that I wish more members would do. But it's one of the things I heard the most on the campaign trail. I heard that the border was a problem. They were really upset and concerned about election integrity, and I don't blame them. And, the speaker's race was also a very hot topic at that time. And, most of my voters let me know that, they didn't support Kevin McCarthy and they didn't want me to support him either. And so, that's why, I didn't support Kevin McCarthy. And after the initial deal was made to make him speaker in January, several months later, he didn't live up to the deal. And that's why I think 7 or 8 of us, voted to vacate the speaker. And that's never happened in political history. And so, not to toot my own horn, but again, it's the same thing. It's like, you're not coming up here to make friends. You're coming up here to try and change the way this town works. I think a good argument could be made that from both sides on, how much was actually changed through that. I do know this. until that had happened, a speaker had never been fired before. And I do think that it's set a precedent for any speaker that takes that office from here on out that it can happen. And, you know, there are, at least at this point, some serious people up here that, you know, are willing to do everything in their power to make it happen, even if it puts them in political jeopardy.